So we're going to be using the towel like we do when we're doing a sitting practice when we're on the floor, and how we notice whether or not our spine is crunched or we have a long spine. And so we notice sometimes that we can't keep our spinal column very erect. And so we roll up the back of the mat to sit on it. Today, we're going to do that on a chair for a little postural reset. And I'm going to invite you to start this practice with me standing. So come on up. And we're going to come to mountain. So we're just going to check our feet, make sure they're parallel. See if we can line our hip joints, our knees, and our ankles up. A little softness in the knee. Notice how the hands rest next to the thighs for most of us. And just how far the hands are from the side bodies. And as we stand here, we're going to notice how it feels. Maybe noticing if the shoulders feel level or if one feels higher than the other. Does one foot feel more weighted than the other? Is one hand closer to the body than the other? We're just doing a scan. So with a gentle close of the eyes or soft focus, bring the attention through the body and just notice a couple or a few places in the body, because we'll come back at the end to see if anything has shifted. Find breath here. And if you hear background noise, that's my little dog snoring. And now we're going to take a seat. So really consciously turn around, check where the seat of the chair is, and then in slow motion, come down to seated. Scooting forward on the chair. Notice how the shoulders sit. So we're in essence sitting a little bit elevated. And now we're going to come back to standing. We're going to remove the towel. We're going to sit slowly back down. And we're going to notice whether this is easier for the spine or is it a little more work to keep the heart lifted and the spine long. We're going to stand again. We're going to take the towel and we're going to place it on the chair. And we're going to place it at least halfway toward the front of the chair, and then we're going to slowly return to seated. And now notice whether or not it's a little bit easier for the heart to remain lifted and for the spine to be long. And as you're sitting here, be curious, would it feel better if the roll or the folded towel was a little bit higher? In other words, another fold in it? Or would it feel better if it had lesser fold in it? So just sit and notice. So imagine now sitting in your favorite chair. Most everyone has a favorite chair. And perhaps the idea, if we sit with our feet on the floor, if bringing a cushion, an extra cushion, right under the sits bones would help our posture. So for those of you who have noticed that there's a slump in the posture, this is something that can be placed into use in everyday life, elevating the pelvis. So we're going to come to a breathing practice now, and we're going to use a mantra and a mudra. And if you were with me on the veterans class, we did this on Saturday. We're going to sit with the palms open toward the ceiling. We're going to be touching the little finger with the thumb, the ring finger with the thumb, the middle finger with the thumb, and the index finger. So when we do finger motions, those are called mudras. And we're going to put a mantra with it. A mantra is something that we repeat over and over again. Instead of doing something in Sanskrit, which you're more than welcome to, you can use anything that is meaningful to you. We're going to do a 4-syllable practice today. And each time we touch a finger, we're going to do 1 syllable. I'm inviting you to the mantra, I am peaceful. So breathing in and out, we touch the little finger with I, ring finger with M, middle finger with peace, and full on the index finger. So that's the practice. So for a few breath cycles, won't you join me as we quietly and inwardly practice this? I am peaceful. And completing whatever cycle you're in. You may have noticed, as I do every time I use this practice, I notice that my mind doesn't skitter away into other things. It requires real focus and attention to be activated with the mudra while touching fingers. So think about your favorite 4-syllable affirmation that you could put into play to bring a little more center, a little more focus into life. So here we are, we're sitting up on the chair. We're going to be doing our cat-cow sequence. So as we do this with the cat, we're going to tuck the pelvis under. That's going to roll up through the spine and create flexion in the spine so the space between the shoulder blades separate. This is your exhale. The inhale, we're going to slide the hands up while we roll forward just about an inch on the hips in the pelvis to lift the heart. Now we've done an extension of the spine. This is the inhale. And now we're going to exhale to cat. Again, tip the pelvis back first, rolling up the spine. Hands come to the knees. The next in-breath, we come to cat, rolling a little bit forward on the pelvis to lift the heart. And on the next exhale, then one more cat. On the next inhale, hands slide up, press into the top of the thighs, rolling the pelvis forward. Inhale. Coming to neutral. We're going to walk our feet out wide. So they're going to be at least as wide as the seat of the chair, if not wider. We're going to turn the heels out and we're going to let the knees touch. We're going to take the hands to the opposite thighs and we're going to cat flex our spine again. So we're rolling the tailbone back, the knees are together. We're coming into a cat. So we're creating flexion. That means spreading the space between the shoulder blades, chin to heart. Breathe here. And come back to neutral. Bring the feet parallel. Keep the legs wide. And now we're going to turn the heels in toward each other. We're going to extend our arms, rock forward, lift the heart, come into a cow arch. Draw those shoulder blades together. It feels so good. Then we come back to neutral. Our feet are still wide. We're going to touch the knees together, cross the arms to touch the thighs. And now we're going to do the cat moving into the cow. So won't you join me as we roll the pelvis back, chin to chest. Here we are, cat arch. We're still elevated on our towel. The heels are turned out here. One more breath. And now we turn the heels in, the knees out. Breathe as we rock forward. A few breaths here. Heels are turned in, toes are turned out, knees are turned out. Oh, yes, they are. Come to neutral. Keep the feet wide. Now we're going to flow with this. So we'll do an exhale in cat and an inhale in cow. So we start with our heels turned out, knees touching, arms crossed. Breathe in, and on the out breath, press into the pelvis, rock it back. This is the out breath. The in breath, the heels turn in, the arms open. The exhale, the heels turn out, the knees touch. Cat. Breathe in, we open into a cow arch. And a cat. Knees together, heels out. Opening on the in-breath to a cow. And we'll do one more sequence. Heels out, arms crossed. Heels in. And then we come to neutral. You may have really noticed the hip joints getting involved in that action. So we're going to do a little more hip action here. So keeping the feet wide, we're going to lean to the right, turn the left knee in. We're coming onto the outer edge. We're in on the inner edge of the left foot. So make sure your feet are wide enough to come onto the edge, come back to center, and then we switch sides. We're leaning to the left, right knee comes in, and now we're going to come back to center. This time we want to keep our feet wide, and we're going to be lifting the heel. So we're going to lean to the right, lift the left heel, and turn the hip. So we're turning the hip right. We're coming back to center. We're taking this knee over, We're tipping to the left, right knee comes in, that heels up, and then back to center. We'll do a couple more of those. We want to make sure our stance is wide enough that the heel can be lifted. Back and forth. And then we pause. I'm going to pull my chair forward because it wasn't on the sticky mat and I was moving, slowly moving away. We're going to be doing our figure 4 now. That's where we bring the ankle above the knee. I'm modeling with a block. So I'm going to do, this is going to be 3 cycles. I'm starting with the block on the lowest notch next to the ankle of my right foot. I'm going to bring the outer edge of the heel so the instep's looking up. And I'm pausing here. I'm going to lift my knee and then release my knee. I'm doing it slowly and I'm not going very far, lubricating that hip joint. One more time. Releasing the foot. Switch the block now so it's against the ankle of the left foot. Bring that right foot. Keep the heart lifted. And you might notice it's a little easier to keep the heart lifted because we're elevating our pelvis just a little bit. Not too much, not traveling too far. I'm going to release that foot. I'm going to turn the block 1 notch higher. I'm going to turn it this way so that the instep of my foot can, the whole outstep of my foot can rest on the block. So I'm at the lowest notch, or second lowest notch, mama bear. And I'm going to just pause here. And maybe, just maybe oscillating that knee up and down, but it's only like a half an inch. It doesn't go very far. We're helping with fascia here, just a little motion to get the fascia lubricated, unspun, unwound, reinvigorated with hydration. And then we're going to release that foot to the floor, slide the block to the other side. So once again, I'm on the second highest level, and I'm bringing it to touch the inside of the foot, inside of the leg. And then I'm oscillating this just a little bit, going up and down. And it can be quick, doesn't have to be slow here, but we're not traveling very far. So there's no destination here. It's just to get a little bit of vibration moving through the muscles, the nerves, and the fascia in this side of the body. And then we pause. So at any point, maybe your knee is up on top, maybe your ankle is up on top of the knee. If you're using the block, if you're following along with this at any point, if this feels too high, go back down 1 level. But what we're doing here is if we bring our ankle above the knee and it's pointing up toward our shoulder instead of opening basically around our waist somewhere, we're not getting the stretch in our sit-upons that is very helpful. That's why the block is here. And maybe, just maybe, there's a little oscillation here It's going to probably be even shorter than the last one, shallower. We're not doing anything too deeply. And you're probably going to feel this exactly in your hip joint. So now we're really lubricating the hip joint. And then release that foot. Slide the block over. I really love that I discovered blocks because it allows everybody to participate in this action. Because for some people, bringing the ankle above the knee while it's available doesn't work very well. So we're just doing a little bit of rocking here. Breathing and rocking. And then we're going to take that foot off the block. We're going to move the block to the side. Step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. We're going to hinge to standing. So hinging forward, we come to standing. We're back in mountain. Dig the toes into the earth. Feel the body move forward. Then lift the toes, rest on the ball mound and the heel of the foot. You'll feel the arch activated. Now in this posture, draw the knees up into the quadriceps. So pull those knees up into the thigh muscles. And then we're going to rock forward again, digging our toes into the earth. And again, rocking backward, lifting the toes. Breathe here, lift the knees into the quadriceps. Feel how the low back gets activated here with this posture. And then we pause and we come to mountain, shake it out. Come back to mountain pose. Check to make sure the feet are parallel. We're lining our hip joints with our knees, with our ankles. And we're doing a body scan now. We started here. So explore, notice, observe how the standing posture is now. Where are the arms in relationship to the legs? Did that change? Notice the heart. Is it a little more easily felt as elevated? Maybe there's a little more extension in the spine. Maybe the spine feels a little longer. Maybe the breath moves a little deeper. And while we're here, we're going to do our mantra and our mudra. So bringing the hands, palms up. I am peaceful. Taking it in with breath. And then release back to mountain. And we're slowly going to return to our seat. So when we do this, the invitation is to take the towel off and notice if we're able to experience a lifting in the heart. Again, we're going to sit slowly. So we're doing a sit-stand practice, right? We're going to sit back slowly, coming into the center of the chair. And we're going to notice, did it feel better with the towel, or does it feel better without the towel? We're going to come to standing again. And if it felt better with the towel, we're going to put it back on the chair. And then we're going to find a seat with a slow release. We're going to rock gently right and left, coming onto the inner and the outer edge of each foot. Pause in the center. The left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. The heart is lifted. Press into the left foot. Twist to look at the sunshine. Oh, well, hello. Hello, lovely. 3 breaths here. And then gently coming back to center. We're going to take the right hand to the outside of the left leg. We're going to press into that right foot. We're taking a twist, traveling now to the left. The heart is lifted, the belly is turning. Coming back to center. One more cat, rolling the pelvis back, flexing the spine. Hands slide up, an in-breath to cow. Rocking forward, lifting the heart. And now we pause and enter our time of Shavasana. And perhaps a mantra mudra would feel good here. I'm going to invite you to rock just a little bit forward and back on the sits bones. Then a little bit right and left. Not too far. And then we'll do a few circles in one direction. not too deep. Switch direction. Then we pause. We're going to open our arms wide to gather all the blessings that already exist, and in appreciation and gratitude, we draw them into our hearts. And together we all say, Namaste.